What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Halftime with K Bizzy. We are coming back today with a very cool guest, and I've been talking to this guest today for so long to get this episode to happen, and it's happened. So I'm very, very happy. We are both local. We both love CS, so it just made sense. And yeah, so we're getting Dimitri Pascaluta on the podcast today. And he is the writer, host, and producer over at theScore esports. They cover a lot of CS videos, and I'm sure you guys have seen them, so I'm not even going to break that down for you. Really, really cool having him on, and I think it was definitely worth the wait because it was just a really good time. We ended up just kind of rambling a bit today, but, you know, talking about the state of CS and, you know, a whole bunch of stuff you guys will end up hearing about. But mainly, you know, it's kind of like everything else on this podcast. We're breaking down how Dimitri got involved in CS, how he got started playing, LAN cafes, that sort of thing, and then how he kind of stopped playing CS for a while and then came back to it. And now he's, you know, one of the main brains over at theScore esports for Counter-Strike. Make sure you guys are liking, commenting, and subscribing on the podcast channel. It really helps me out a lot, and it doesn't cost you anything. So spend some favoritism to the like button, the sub button, and I always love hearing what you guys have to say. So definitely drop a comment and let me know how I did, if I can do better, what I should be doing, what I'm not doing, that sort of thing. But we are going to catch you guys on the outro. So enjoy today's episode. Thank you guys for tapping in. Catch you on the outro. I'm a little bit sick, so I'll just say that first and foremost because my voice is kind of messed up. I got the sniffles, so I might just be muting my mic over and over just so I'm not, you know.
No worries, man. I've been there.
Yeah. Dude, I appreciate you, you know, doing this. We were talking about this for a long time, and we're finally doing it. I've been wanting to do it for so long, so thank you very much, dude, for the time. Really appreciate it.
I'm happy to be here, I promise. I'm sorry it took so long.
No, that's all good.
At some point, I just kind of put my foot down, and I was like, all right, I'm just running out B. I was like, I'm just running out B. If you guys are with me, you're with me. If not, that's, yeah.
No, I love it, man. I appreciate it. So tell me the story on how you got involved with Counter-Strike. Did a friend introduce you? Did you just kind of stumble upon it randomly? Like, how did that happen for you?
So I stumbled upon CS, sort of in like the best way, which was I used to play StarCraft at the local LAN cafe, and this would have been like 2002, 3 maybe. And yeah, I was playing Brood War, and I was terrible, but I loved it. And we would go and we would go log in. We'd make new BattleNet accounts every time. OGs remember, like they know the tech. And anyway, one day, having like the only shooters I've ever played are like GoldenEye, right?
Oh yeah, classic.
My friends are like, yo, we gotta play Counter-Strike. We gotta play 1.6. And so I was like, all right, sure, I'm down for whatever. We try Counter-Strike, and we started playing, and that was my introduction to. That would have been, I think I started playing CS probably about 2004.
Okay.
Probably about 2004. Yeah, by that time, and that was the best introduction. That was the best way to get into CS. At the LAN cafe, you're terrible. You're 10. Like it doesn't matter, right? Because you're 10. Like it's just you're just happy to be there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Highly competitive. People are just there to win a game.
Dude, the way you like, you know, the way the pro players now, like, you know, they get over the monitors, they scream at each other, you fucking suck. Whatever.
Yeah,
that's nothing.
The brokey double middle fingers. Fuck you.
Soft, brother. Soft compared to when you were 11 and you were in the LAN cafe, run by this quiet little family, right? And you're just over top of the CRT monitor, just screaming, so mad, and like everyone's looking at you. And there's like university students in there who are like writing essays, right? Like trying to get work done, and you're just absolutely hurling. Like that was, oh man.
People throwing like monster cans at each other or something like that. Like they get kind of physical, or
this is pre-monster, but yes, it's like. You take an empty DC, or in some cases a full DC, you just whip it across the room. You know, the empty cup of noodle, that was a classic. Like the empty cup of noodle, because you knew it would do no damage, right? So you just throw that. Yeah.
Wow.
That was a heater. That was a heater time.
Okay, so Launders was on the podcast last year, and he was talking about the LAN cafe culture that you were just talking about. and how he would go play PC at local LANs and eventually got into Counter-Strike. Sounds like pretty much the same way that, you got introduced to CS. Um, like, did you ever come across him? I've just been curious because both from Toronto and both going to local LAN cafes and stuff like that. Like, surely you guys crossed paths early on before you guys are who you are now, right?
No, actually. So it's like a sort of a twofold answer. So on the one hand, no, very surprisingly, I met Launders for the first time like in person last year at the Launders LAN actually. Yeah.
What? Damn.
Yeah. There's probably I mean, there's kind of like I guess like a reason that the trajectory sort of, which I can like get into later, but like in terms of why I like went away from CS for a little while. But like so no, if I met him in the if I met him in the LAN cafes when I was a kid, I certainly don't remember. Launders is a little bit older than me, and
Okay.
so which now doesn't matter so much, but when you're 11, matters a lot, right? Like the difference,
Yeah.
obviously, I don't know how much older, but like the difference of like 3-4 years, whatever, between a 15-year-old and obviously is like huge, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
um, and I'm also not sure. I mean, the LAN cafe that I was going to is not in the same part of Toronto as where he's from. But
Okay.
I will say it struck a chord when I watched that excellent documentary they made about him.
The ESL
Um,
profile one or whatever?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so
I mean,
good.
it was brilliant. Like just an excellent piece of storytelling. And like it struck a chord with me when he said, he was describing sort of exactly what I was just describing, right? Which is like you go to your mom after school, you beg her for like literally, man, like $2.75. Because like for
Wow.
$2.75, you could buy maybe 2.5 hours, 3 hours of time on the PC, right? If you got an extra dollar, you could get like a Coke. If you got like an extra $1.50, you could get like a Kit Kat or a cup of noodle, or like you're just like literally like counting, like it's like literally teaching you economy, right? Like you're just like, bro, if I just get 150 more, I can get a flash. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
we could
yeah.
cobble together at like some semblance of a buy here, right? And like it's it's funny, it struck a chord with me when he described exactly that, and he said best days of our lives. That was how he put it in the documentary. He said best days of our lives. And it struck a chord with me because it's funny now that I work in the industry, and I work in Counter-Strike for a living, and especially competitive Counter-Strike. I love it. I mean, obviously I love what the esport has become, but to me, and I think to a lot of players of my generation, Launders' generation, Counter-Strike will never be better than what it was in 2004. I mean, again, he was a little. I caught the tail end of the 1.6 wave. Like because obviously Source came out in 2007. I honestly hated it so much. I don't even.
So
I
many
don't
people
even.
did. It's crazy.
I hated it so much. It's 5, 7. I forget. I don't know. It's all of like I think it was 7, but yeah. Maybe no 4. 2004. I'm overshooting it. Yeah, it came out in 2004. I started playing 1.6 right before Source came out.
Okay.
And or right before, I mean maybe like a year before. And he's more Launders is more of an OG than I am. He's more of a CS OG than I am. Like my first version of Counter-Strike was 1.6. I think his first version was probably 1.5, if not earlier. He may have even said an earlier iteration in his doc. But the point of me saying this is that it resonated with me a lot. I think that the culture of CS that he's describing is a culture that a lot of players, unfortunately, nowadays never got to experience.
Yeah.
And it was the best. I know it's like such an old man thing to say, but it was the best. I didn't have a PC that was good enough to play CS at home. Um, a fair number of people who were, 11, 10 did not. And so I only ever for years of my life, I only ever played CS in like on LAN, as it
Yeah.
were, at the cafe with the boys and in a custom lobby where you're just 3v3, 4v4, 5v5. Literally just depends on how many guys you got
Oh.
that day. You like it just that right. It's like the equivalent of like the basement console, like Super Smash Brothers, like sort of like, you know what I mean? Like these core memories that we as gamers have that just shaped like our love for competition and for esports. And I just think like it struck a chord with me when you put it that way. Best days of our lives. Like this is a guy who travels the world, casts major finals,
Yeah.
and still, it's It's not as good. It's not as good as
No.
not as sweet. Doesn't taste as sweet as what it did, 20 years ago, but 20 plus years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only 26, but I never really got in. Like I got into CS:GO 2015, and I never really knew about lands, and like I'd never been to one. Like I went to Launders land last year too, and that was the first time I've ever done a LAN, other than having a bunch of buddies rent an Airbnb and all of us set up our PCs and stuff. But like an actual LAN event or like LAN setting, and it's like, dude, I wish I was like 5, 10 years older so I could have experienced that because I would have been all on that shit. Like that is such a fun environment, and it's like, there's not too many. Like, when's the last time you heard of people going to a gaming cafe now? Everyone's got PCs in their house. It's just
Not
not the
here,
same.
certainly. Yeah, like obviously in Korea, like PC bangs, like LAN cafes are a massive culture. Like
Hmm.
absolutely giga huge, like really, really big deal. And they're amazing. I was talking about this with someone the other day actually, because they were not familiar with like the PC bang culture in Korea, and I was like showing them a video online of like you can see like ordering food and time and like all the game and like just the level of competition, because there's so many people there who are playing. Mind you, they're not really playing Counter-Strike, they're mostly playing League of Legends, right? But like
Yeah.
the level of solo queue, the level of play, the level of like, it's just, they were like blown away. They were like, oh my god, like I never thought in 2025. And I was like, oh no, yeah, it's like the culture is alive and well. But here obviously, yeah, nobody plays. I can't even tell you the last time I stepped into a LAN cafe. But
Yeah.
I'm also sort of like I've taken some heat for this over the years, but I am one of those like very few holdouts who I still feel that 1.6 was the best Counter-Strike. I still feel that at its peak it was better than CS:GO at its peak. In the ways that really matter. Like there are tons of ways in which 1.6 was just like a disaster.
This episode of Halftime with K Bizzy is brought to you in part by Pricempire.com. Pricempire.com is absolutely loaded with essential tools for any skin enthusiast. Whether it be their blog, their price comparison app, the trending deals, or your personal inventory tracker, I mean, Price Empire really has it all. Pricempire.com is trusted by more than 1 million users on Trustpilot to ensure everybody that it is a fair and legit website. Pricempire.com is linked in the description. Go step your skins game up today.
Like the way you bought things, the way people. I was playing 1.6 for the first time actually about a year ago, and I forgot you had to buy ammo.
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
bought your AK, I was like, oh, I was like running up Nana, like hitting B-side Inferno, and I like went to reload, and I was like, oh shit, I don't have it. Like I just shot out. Like I forgot I haven't played the game, right? But it's I still feel that like 1.6, especially on LAN, which is how I learned to play it. Like it just, there's something about the movement, the shooting, the tactility that just it was such a hard game, man. It was so hard. It was like the guys, I think Shroud has said this, but like the god gamers of 1.6, the Forests, the Neos, the Markeloffs, the Get Rights, they were the goat god gamers across like literally every video game ever made. Like I think that like the only thing that compares in my mind is like StarCraft, like Brood War, or Melee are the only two
Okay.
things where you can compare in terms of just like this sheer mechanical excellence difficulty. Being a god at 1.6 was way harder than being a god at CS:GO.
Damn.
It was very, very difficult to be very good, to be like very, very good at that game. It was extremely hard. And part of my nostalgia for that era is also my nostalgia for 1.6. I love the game. I miss the game. I was never a sorcerer, which was weird in North America because most people in North America were sorcerers. And I just played 1.6 basically. I mean, maybe I'm getting ahead now, but like I played 1.6 from basically 2004 until like 9 or 10. I don't know. Like I just never really played. I never
Yeah.
really played. I played Source like zombies and shit, like for fun. But like the
Yeah.
meme modes. But like I never played it seriously. I hated the game.
Damn, okay. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that have said that over the years that I've played Source a little bit. I find it fun, but I didn't really
Yeah.
play much 1.6 and then witness that transition to Source, which apparently was like pretty drastic. So I don't really understand that aspect, but a lot of people say that. So there's got to be a reason for it, right?
I'll say this. Because people have become real Source apologists over the years, and I get it. Like but I will say this. especially because of what we're seeing, what CS2 has undergone, the heat, the flack that it's seen for the past 2 years. If Valve did that now, like 20 years later, like they went from what 1.6 was, which was this like brutally unforgiving game, exceptionally difficult to master, to this game that was like by all accounts, haha go burr, like just like run around with a P90 all the time, just jumping around, like just this ridiculous like caricature of like what Counter-Strike was. They would get lambasted. Like it would be so much worse now if they released Source than when they released it in 04 or whatever the hell
Oh
it was.
yeah, with
Like
Twitter
they
and
would.
Reddit and everything.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It would be like
Game
literally the
over.
threat of like they don't even understand the game. They've completely killed it. What the fuck is this? How do they think? And they didn't, to be fair, like they didn't really understand in 04 what that people liked. Like they grew to love those highly technical obstinacies that made 1.6 so difficult, so stupid. And like, yes, there was a lot of quality of life shit that needed to be cleaned up. But the problem was they went one step further and they applied that same like rounding of sharp edges to the actual movement and the actual shooting and the actual gunplay. And it just transformed what Counter-Strike felt like. Like the shift from 1.6 to Source was the most drastic in the history of the game. Like from Source to Go, or from 1.6 to Go, was not as drastic,
Wow.
in my opinion. I don't think so. Even though CS:GO was like really fucking bad in the beginning, like just a terrible game, way worse than CS2 ever was. I don't think that it was as drastic, like conceptually, right?
Okay.
As Source was.
Okay, I get you. And I feel like to everybody, CS means something different. Like I remember, oh my god, when I got my pause on this game, it chokehold and it still hasn't let go. I've got like almost 6.5 thousand hours, and I would come home from school, bag on the bed, straight to the PC. I worked my first job to grind, get my first PC, buy CSGO, and it's the only game that has ever like really grabbed me for this long. And I just, when I'm not like editing or at work or something, let's boot up CS. Like no game has ever done that for me. What has CS like been to you? Like has it been like kind of just something to do in your spare time and then evolved into like now being your job, or was it like a full-blown obsession from the start? I always get interested with these stories, talking to everybody on the podcast.
My relationship with CS is probably pretty atypical for the sort of the other people you would have had on, because they're all CS people. I like I said, I started playing CS when I was 11, 1.6 in the cafes, the way a lot of people did, fell in love with it. Was really bad, gradually got better. I got older. I played 1.6 through Source. Like I said, never played Source, didn't care. And the reason for that is that it just didn't offer me that same. I've always said CS, in my opinion, is worth being bad at. It's one of those things that is so difficult, it's so hard, that it's actually kind of like worth being shit at Counter-Strike, because it affords you this respect for how hard it is to be good. Like there's a reason why when you
Okay.
watch Zywoo pull off a master class, right, a clutch that is just like clinical, like
Yeah.
just Shakespearean, like the
How
way
are
that
you
only
getting
he
out
can
of
do it.
this?
Exactly. And you watch like every little decision, or that insane Munacy clutch from the other week, the one where he went through B doors, right? When he was in the 1v2 with 4 seconds left
Oh
and
yeah,
headshot it.
ridiculous.
Like you
Ridiculous.
watch it and you're just like, the reason it's worth being bad at this game is because you recognize that it is like impossible to be good at. Like it's
Yeah.
like very, very hard to be good at. So I don't feel bad about being shit at it, because like that's right. So when I was like 12, 13, that's how I felt. It felt so 1.6 was so hard. And when I went from like this is for fun, and then it went to, well, now my friends are beating me and it's not so fun anymore, and then it went to, I want to beat my friends, then I had to start practicing and get better and get better. I played 1.6 relatively seriously until about 2009 or 2010. And then this thing happened and that's what it meant to me, to answer your question. It meant to me like this was this thing that I loved how hard it was, and I loved how good it felt to be good at it. That's the best I can put it into words.
Yeah.
Didn't feel good to be good at Source. I just played Source and I was like, this is a fun game to meme in, but it doesn't feel good, doesn't scratch that itch for me to
Yeah.
like be sick at this thing, right? But 1.6 always did. The problem is that by the time 2009, 2010, which ironically we're now talking about like the golden age of competitive 1.6. This is when, for maybe people don't remember anymore, but like this is Navi with like four majors back to back.
Oh my
The
god.
golden age of Markelov and Zeus and Edward, right? Like competitively, like the game is at a high. The problem is, I'll tell you this now, man. Playing 1.6 in 2010, not a great experience. Like, it's very old. The game
Yeah.
is extremely old. And like, yeah, 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, you're like, okay, like I get. By 2010, you're now starting to enter like next gen console, PC
Yeah.
games. You're starting to look a lot better. And you get to this point where you're like, okay, like this is like comically ridiculous now. How?
Yeah.
This is like a Windows 98 game, right? Like this is ridiculous. So what I did was I kind of got to the point with Counter-Strike where I was like, well, the sequel sucked, and that sequel is now like 6 years old, right? It doesn't look like they're going to make a new game. And this old one is like not really that fun to play anymore just because it's just so antiquated. And then someone introduced me to Dota, to the
Okay.
original Dota All-Stars Defense of the Ancients mod for Warcraft 3. Again, at the LAN cafe, and then very shortly after, because I did actually have a PC by that point, very shortly after to download the mods. And I started playing Dota, which if you've never played,
Never.
if you've never played Dota All-Stars, then you count yourself very lucky, because we're talking about a game that is also exceptionally complicated, very difficult to play, so many juggling pieces. And it was also very different than CS. It wasn't a shooter. It was this like, RTS style, like MOBA as they called it, right? Like sort of like, with lanes and creeps, and it was just so different. It was such a polemical difference than what I had been doing for the past, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
And I got really, 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 really into Dota. Really into Dota. Dota became my whole personality. And I like would watch like 2011. I remember watching some of the big CS tournaments, but I wasn't playing anymore. I was not playing Counter-Strike, and I got then Dota 2 came out. Like the beta was, the keys went out in 2011, and I was like, the first TI happened in 2011, and I just became all about Dota. Dota was my entire, from an esport, from a content consumption standpoint, from a play standpoint, like just everything. All I ever
Okay.
did was Dota. Lived and breathed the game. And then CS:GO started to, like, the rumors of like they're making another one. And I can't stress it enough, when the rumors started coming out, it was like people, I remember my group, my circle of friends, my sort of little world. And remember, like, Twitter was not really like what it is now, right? So
Not
like there
even
was not
close.
this, yeah, like there was no, like, you weren't like gauging Reddit reactions. You were just like talking to your friends in high school. You were just like
Yeah.
talking to
It's
like
like
your friends,
Facebook
right?
back in the day. You're just making stupid
Facebook,
posts about
yes.
nothing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're basically living in your own little microcosm, right? There was definitely a ton of hype, but definitely this sense of like, oh god, because the last one was really bad. Like, Source was bad, and people were definitely a little bit like, if this doesn't go well, like CS is sort of probably dead. Honestly,
Yeah.
to be frank, right? Like, it's probably dead. 1.6 now is like 10 years old, right? And it's, in fact, older at this point. And like, it just, if it's, this goes the way of Source, it's not going to happen for this esport anymore.
Yeah.
And so I remember playing CS:GO when it like first came out, and I was like, yikes. I was like, this is, and it was terrible. Like, anyone who played it, you got it in 2015, you got it in the era, like
Yeah. Yeah.
in the beginning, it was rough. It was very rough. But they did this interesting thing where they tried to like unify Source in 1.6. The Sorcerers
Okay.
played it, and they were like, I feel sort of at home here. And then the 1.6ers played it, and they were like, I feel a little less at home, but like sort of also a little bit at home. Like,
Okay.
this is, it really tried to bring together these disparate communities, right? Because at this point, we have a competitive 1.6 scene. We also have a competitive Source scene, right? Mostly in Europe, mostly in France, but like,
Yeah.
we still have one, right? Anyway, I played it, and I was like, not great, not for me. And I'm so absorbed in Dota at this point that I kind of just left it by the wayside. I was kind
Yeah.
of like, 1.6 the GOAT, rip my GOAT. Too bad, Counter-Strike's dead.
It's
Too
fun
bad,
while it
too bad.
lasted.
Well, fun while it lasted. It was a great 10 years. It was a great decade. But
Yeah.
like, we're done. You know what I mean? And I was watching stuff through 2012. Like I was watching NIP. I was watching sort of, but I was not sold. I was not really sold on the game. The way that some other people were really getting into it. And there was other people at the time who were also not sold on it. And I would say that it probably was not until like, oh shit, man, 14, if 15-ish, maybe around the time you got into the game, when everybody started, that I sort of actually was like, all right, let me try it on the side. Like, let me try it on the side.
Give
Let me
it
see
another
how this
shot.
feels. Give it another shot. And it felt better, and I liked it, and I started playing it a little bit again. I was not playing it nearly as seriously as I used to, because I can't stress this enough. Dota was my life in terms of my esport, that I like gave a shit about my elo. I gave a shit about the game, like every meta, every patch,
Yeah.
like that was the game that I get home from work and I'm like, I'm serious, or from school at this point, and like really serious about. And Counter-Strike was just this thing I was kind of playing on the side. But I started to feel it again. I started to feel that thing, to tie it back to the original answer. That thing of like, oh, this is like hard again. This is like kind of hard. And it kind of feels to be good to be bad at
You're
this.
being challenged.
Yes.
Okay.
And I want to fight back. Like I want to actually like, try to get good at this again. Yeah. I'll stop it there because I don't want to just soliloquize all the way until the late era of CS:GO.
You're good.
But yeah. Anyway.
So I guess it'd be fair to assume, based off of what you said, that it was at some point in CS:GO's lifetime that you kind of seen a bigger picture. But like, tell me if I'm wrong. But like, when did you see the bigger picture, and what kind of made the gears start turning in your head of like, this I could kind of do something with this potentially.
I didn't. It's funny. Yeah, I didn't. So I can basically just pick up where I left off. I was playing Dota really, 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 really seriously. Like it's funny. I go back and look at my match history and like my hours and shit, and I'm like, brother, like
Yikes.
it's crazy that I had a girlfriend and was doing a degree, because I'm like, this is like, I was playing a lot of Dota. I played very seriously, like 2011, 2012, all the way until about 2018, and through that time, I was playing Counter-Strike minimally, way more than before. Like I was actually playing CS:GO. And I had been good enough at 1.6 that I was sort of like like decent at CS:GO, and I was like, oh, I never really took it that seriously, but I was always like good enough to like hang. Mm, And then what happened was was watching the pro scene, following along with the pro scene, and I would say that from about 2015 onwards, I was definitely watching, excuse me, CS:GO pretty seriously. I was definitely watching the majors. That was the point when all of us sort of were like, I think it was Kato. I feel like it was Kato 15 was the like, okay, we're back. Like this,
Okay.
we're actually back. But yeah, I think people underestimate how late relatively it was. I remember interviewing Rops in like 2020, and he said the most Giga Chat fucking thing I've ever heard. He's like, I remember in 2013, he was like finding out about like the major, and he was like, people play majors in this stupid game. He's like, he's like, this game has
Wow.
majors. He's like, he didn't know. He was like, I was just surfing in 1.6. I was just playing 1.6. Or he's like, I didn't even know that like they had like a pro scene in
Oh my
Go and global
god.
offensive.
And
He's
look at
like,
him
cringe.
now. Like,
Yeah, I know.
holy shit.
One of the best players in history on the planet. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
So funny, right? Like he didn't know. He didn't know. Tail end 13, even through 14, like there was this like, yeah, we were like vaguely aware of it, but like it just didn't. It wasn't. I would say it really wasn't until Kato 15 that it was like I had this feeling of like, all right, it feels like these are actually worth watching. It feels like this game is getting serious. Valve's getting serious about the updates. It feels like this is like actually like we're back. This could be like we're in a real era of CS esports. So I'm watching up until about 2018, playing frequently, and in the background, I am not doing anything in related to esports at all. I was in school for a very long time, so I did my I was so I was doing a PhD in medieval literature.
Okay.
And I went for my BA, my MA, and then I was about 2.5 years into a PhD, and there was like I think it was like summer 18. Summer 18. I had to like, I had to do this like big crash course in Latin, basically, because when you
Okay.
study medieval literature and you study the reception of the classics, like I was, you have to learn Latin. That's like you have to learn that. Yeah. So I took this like big 4 month long course to learn Latin, basically, and I finished the course. I've passed my PhD exams, these big tough exams you have to take called comprehensive exams, and then I am like getting into my third year, and I'm just like really burned out.
Yeah.
I love learning. I love what I do, but I've never taken a year off. I never took a year off between high school and BA, between like bachelor's and master's and
Wow.
PhD. I'm probably at this point, probably a little younger than you. Like I was like maybe 24, 25.
Okay.
And I was like burnt out. I was really burnt out. I was really tired. All the while, my life is just academia and Dota. Not
Okay.
really CS. Like I said, I watch the majors.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm not like it's just Dota. Dota is my life. And so what happens is I think, you know what, I would like to take some time off. So I go to my supervisor. I'm like, I kind of want to take a year off. He's like, brother, you need to like take a year off. He's like, you need, if you're feeling burnt out, he's like, go fucking wait tables and get screamed at for a year and then come
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
And yeah, he's like, go live your life. Go have like a year of real life.
Everybody needs a break.
Everyone needs a break and everyone needs like something different. That's what I felt. I felt like I needed something different, really different, like just like a full 180, like a full reset, full palate cleanser.
Yeah, for
No
sure.
school, no books, no any, just do something. Anyway, I'm looking for jobs, and I see that theScore downtown has a job open for a esports writer, and I'm like, well, that's lucky.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, over here, guys.
I was like, yeah. So I applied on a Friday, and I remember hearing back on the Monday, and they were
Damn.
like, "Do you want to come to an interview?" Because I guess I just checked every box. They were like a PhD student. I was studying English, like I was studying medieval literature as my specialization, but my degree was in English, and so they were just like, we just come. And I also said, like I was like, I know like a stupid amount about Dota and like about some other esports, but basically this is it. And so anyway, I heard back in the Monday, go and I interview, I get the job. But the point of me saying this is that when I started, they were like, so you're gonna obviously, like, we cover everything here, like we talk about everything. I did not come in with the idea that I was going to like be a CS head again. I was like, that part of my life is kind of behind me, like I keep up, but I was like, I'm not nearly as well versed in the scene as I used to be. I'm basically just watching the big tournaments,
Yeah.
following along on Reddit, following along on Twitter. I'll be honest, in retrospect, I probably knew a lot more than I was giving myself credit for. Like I can speak with relative authority about like 2014, 15, 16, 17 up until 18. It's more just that I was so deep into Dota. I
Yeah.
was so deep into Dota that I could tell you like not just who played the day before, but like what the drafts were. I could be
Oof.
like, and how long the games lasted and how, you know what I mean? Like it's like,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. And so to compare my CS knowledge to my Dota knowledge, I was like, oh, I'm falling short in Counter-Strike. Like I'm like, but in reality, like I probably knew more than
Yeah, yeah. But it was
so
just esports as a whole at the beginning. It wasn't just one thing. Wow.
no.
Okay.
They were like, we would love for you to write about Dota. And I did. If you go back and you look at the content that I did, like a lot of the story ofs and the videos I was doing in 2018, 2019, a lot of it was Dota and a lot of it was really great,
Wow.
to be
Okay.
honest. Yeah. It just sort of coincided with the tail end of the golden age of the game. I know you don't follow it, but like the Dota esports was like really, really the GOAT. Like it was undergoing this incredible golden age from about 2013 to 2018. There was like this 5-year
Okay.
period where Dota esports, and I'll just say it, there was like a 5-year period where Dota esports was like way better than CS:GO esports, and anyone who follows both would agree. Like it was just so much better. And then this thing happened in 2018 after OG1TI where like it just sort of really fell off. And then after 19, it really fell off come the pandemic, and it sort of feels like it's never recovered. Whereas
Ugh.
CS:GO did this opposite thing where it
It just started
boomed.
going up. Like,
Yes, it boomed during the pandemic. And
yeah.
then like I remember in 2018, 2019, I'll be honest, man, CS:GO wasn't looking so hot. Like people don't remember it that way, but like the Astralis era, like almost fucking killed the game. Like it was, I'm serious. Like it was like Cloud9 won, and it was in Jan of 18, and it was the best thing any of us had ever seen. Oh my god. And then for the rest of that year, like into the next, it was remember the London Major, brother? Yeah.
I don't know.
Neither do I.
There was a period where I kind of fell off too, and I've gotten a service medal for every single year that I've played, except for 1 year. I want to say it was maybe 2018, 2019. But yeah,
People,
I don't think I
yeah.
remember that.
18 was a slog. It was. It was like the year of simple was like the only cool thing about 2018. The Astralis era was cool in the sense of how dominant they were, and it was like pretty insane from a statistical standpoint. But yeah, anyway, I this is I digressing, but it's the point is I it was right around when Dota started to really fall off and Counter-Strike was undergoing this insane boom that I basically kind of started like playing Global Offensive really seriously again.
Okay.
Yeah, I started basically I wasn't pugging in Dota anymore. I'd hit the highest rank I thought I was ever going to hit. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, I've hit a high rank. I was like, I'm and anything further than this is just like I don't really, I don't have time. I don't really want. I'm a little older now. I'm not
Yeah.
21 years old anymore, pugging till 4 a.m. Right? I was like, so I'm good, and I wanted to play CS again. I missed playing it when I was a kid. I missed being good at it, and I started to get very, very, very serious about playing Counter Strike again. And I did. I got really serious, and I started burning the midnight oil and playing the game and just becoming. And then sort of around that time, my creative like fire for the game was really reignited. Was like really, really, really. And then for the last 5 years or so, it's been that I've just now it's quite a recent thing. And by recent, I mean like half a decade, but yeah, like it's I had this like weird it's what I was talking about earlier with the Launders thing where like this reason why I kind of like went off the, you know what I mean? Like I was, yeah, there was a many, many years where I kind of just thought CS was like, it's dead. They'll try to revive it. They
It's
tried to
dragging
revive it
along.
before, but it's dragging along, but it's not like, and then it wasn't until really I got pulled back into Global Offensive that I was like, yeah, and it reignited for me. I mean, the game was, I mean, look, it's pretty topical that we're talking about this, but like, I reopened CS:GO a couple weeks ago, and I could cry. Like
It's so
I
fucking good.
shot 4 bots, and I was like, I could fucking cry. It's the thing that Lexi said like 6 months ago, right? Where he's like,
Yeah.
open aim bots, shoot a bullet. He's like, you'll fucking weep. You'll actually
Yeah.
cry. Like I anyway, I don't want to do the Vince McMahon. Like I can't. Yeah.
So we both know that like the CS community, like you could be out of touch from anywhere to like a week or a month, and like depending on the time, like a lot of shit can happen if you're just
Oh yeah.
like looking the other way. It's crazy. Like look at G2 over the past short amount of time. I don't know, a couple months or whatever. Complete flip of the roster, and it's like Nico's gone, Monacy, like all of the shit's happened. Like everything happened so fast. So when it comes to the creative process of like, you know, coming up with a video for theScore for the esports, like without giving away your secrets and gems, I'm just curious, like, what do you like? How does you and your team that you work with, how do you guys get inspired to like attract yourself to a certain topic and try to, okay, we're gonna cover this? Because there's so much that happens.
It's crazy. It can be hard to keep up with, especially when you follow multiple scenes like I do. Like one of
Yeah.
the things that is like, it can, I mean, I've gotten good at it over the years, obviously, but like it is one of these things where like I also follow League of Legends. I also follow not so much Dota anymore, much to the chagrin of the fans who love Dota content on the channel. Every like 6 months, I get an ad on Twitter from some poor bastard who's just like, "Bro, you haven't made a Dota video in like 9.5 months," and I'm like, "I know, I'm sorry, man." Um, but it can be tough to follow it. I can't speak to my team, and I can't speak to our internal process. Like, I can't
Yeah,
like
yeah, I don't want, yeah.
talk to how the sausage is made, but I can openly talk about me as a creator and
Yeah.
how what drives me. And I will say this: I think it's pretty simple. I've made it really simple over the years, which is I make content about what I'm interested in, and that sounds like really like boilerplate, but like I get fixated on a topic, I get fixated on a player, I get fixated on a theme, an idea, a mechanical intricacy, strategic one, a technical one, like technological one. And I just that's what I use to like the spark that I try to
Okay.
create the flame out. I just find that the content, I've been doing this like long enough now that I just find that like that's how the content ends up being the best is when
Yeah.
you have a natural, organic passion to talk about it, right? Like sometimes I'll be weighing up what I wanna do on a given day, a given week, and I'll be picking between two things, and I'll just think to myself like, which one am I just more excited about? Like sometimes it's literally just that simple. Like what am
Yeah.
I just bursting at the seams to be like, oh god, I have to explain this to somebody. I have to talk about this. This is the coolest thing. This is the funniest thing. This is the I have to just like, and I just think that as long as you keep that as like your North Star, as any creator, anyone who does anything in the space, or other spaces, I just think it's you have to always ask yourself like what gets me going, and if it
Yeah.
gets me going, chances are you're going to be able to get other people going about that same thing, right?
Yeah. Because why
And
would you want to watch a video? Like, if you're going to make a video on a certain topic, if you wouldn't want to watch that video, why the hell would you make it anyway, right?
that's it. That's all it is. You just have to basically. People say it all the time, like, "Oh, I make content that I would want to watch," and like, and I don't. I mean, that's true, but I don't think. I think it's for me. It's really just that thing of like, I talk about stuff and write about stuff that I am psyched about. And I do work to make sure that I'm psyched about different things. I try to keep up with all the different scenes every morning. I'll peruse Twitter, I'll peruse the different tabs and be like, all right, what's happening in League? Or oh, the CS tournament was so hype over the weekend. And I have so much I'm excited about, oh, there was like an LCK final and I didn't watch that because I was understandably watching the CS tournament. Let's just quickly go and take 10 minutes and be like, was there something really cool that I'm excited about? Or, like there was like, it's like a give and go thing, or a give and take rather. You have to
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? You have to just not just get excited about what finds its way to you. You have to like do some work,
For
but
sure.
that's it, man. I think it's just that simple. It's just what excites you. Like when something stops exciting me, I just stop. I don't stop caring about it. I just like I just follow my nose, and I
Yeah.
just like go to the next thing that gets me going.
That's got to be a crazy feeling. You kind of just are able to like, oh, I like this. I'm going to make a video on this with the team. Like that's the freedom that's awesome. Like what a dream.
Yeah, it is. It's a dream. It's awesome. I think that, like I said, there's like limits to that, obviously,
Well,
right?
yeah,
Like,
for sure.
if I wake up tomorrow and I'm like, like, bro, boys, like Brawlhalla is
Yeah.
like my shit. You know what I mean? I can't just never make a Counter-Strike video again, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. But yeah, you basically just I think it's I mean, not to like toot my own horn, but like I think it's like earned. Like you just like you sort of you've done it enough times with enough things that you start to like people trust that you're gonna whatever you're excited about, you're gonna do something good with it. People just
Yeah.
they trust that like that's the right. Yeah, it's I think that's like I didn't ask for advice for creators, but I think that's like the thing is like you just have to just follow your nose is how I would
Yeah.
put it. Follow your nose. Like whatever smells good, whatever aroma attracts you, like that's the thing that you have to be like, that's what's gonna keep me sharp and keep me making stuff that I'm excited about. And that's to me the biggest thing is if you're not excited about it, it will wear on you pretty fast.
Oh, for
And that's
sure.
not just a work thing, right? That's like a life thing. It's
Just
just you
with a
have to
hobby, but whatever,
yes.
really.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. Like and I actually am honest about it. Like I say it all the time, right? Like I not that hot on CS2. Like I think that the game I play it, I was significantly less. Like maybe 80 to 85% less than I used to play CS:GO. Um and it's not about, oh, the game's shit. Oh, it's going to get better. Oh, like that's not what this is about. It's just right now and for the past 2 years roughly,
Yeah.
I just the game is not that exciting. It's like it's kind of what happened with Source, where I just like played it and I was like, I don't know, this doesn't get my jollies going. This doesn't scratch that fucking itch that I
Yeah.
just have to like I play CS2 and I'm like, this is fun, significantly better than Source was, just to be clear. So no one is
For
like
sure. For sure.
significantly better. But like I play it and I'm like, it's not just about, for the first 6 months, it's like you're dying through walls and the peeker's advantage is destroying you and you're getting pumped by guys who are not on your screen. And then at some point, it goes from like rage and desk slamming and sighing and to just like apathy. Like you kind of just get to this place where you're just like, or I could just play Dark Souls. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like
Like
why the fuck am I playing
what
this?
am I playing this for? Like I don't want to play this. And like it's such a depressing thing to say, but like
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I don't think that it the thing I keep telling people is like CS2 feels to me like it is 85, 80 to 85. And that might even be a little high. Some people might say that's high, some people might say that's low. Of what Go was.
Mhm.
It's like this like 4/5, like this 4/5 of what Go was. And I think the problem for me is like I don't really want to play a game that's pretending to be Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I
That's
could
a
I
little
could understand
harsh.
that.
It's a little harsh, but I just feel like it's one of those things where like I know what it's supposed to feel like, and so when it doesn't feel like that, it's like glaringly noticeable for me, and
Yeah.
I just you know what I mean. I just can't. I just would rather not play it at all, and that is a me thing. That's not a me telling people that y'all shouldn't play CS2 or it's bad objectively, and if you play it, you're silly. There are people out there who might say to me, "You're honestly wrong, and you're overstating the
It's a
difference," and I
personal
totally respect that.
preference.
Totally personal preference. It's just like to me, it doesn't feel right, and it still doesn't feel right. It definitely feels a lot closer to right than it did a year
Yes.
and a half ago. I will
Yes.
100% agree. I agree. I just yeah, I know you didn't ask about CS2, but it's
No, it's all
kind of
good.
this thing. It just feels like it's behind this question of like I've found ways to stay really excited about the game and watching the game and caring about it and definitely gotten it's also gotten a lot better over the last like year and a half.
1000%.
Yeah, but I don't you know I don't play ESEA seasons anymore. I don't play late night pugs with like sweaty teammates and do scrims and pracs and nade. I used to like every day I used to get in the practice server and I was like teaching myself new nades, learning new
Oh,
nades. Like
okay.
I haven't done that in basically since CS2. Not like launched, like in beta, but like since Go was gone. Like since the
Yeah,
very last
yeah.
season of ESEA CSGO was over and they fully switched. I played the first season of ESEA in CS2. Um, and then never again. And yeah, I don't know. I just
That's it and that's that.
yeah. Do you notice the difference? Do you feel like how steep is the difference for you? Does it feel like it affects your relationship with the game? I'm always
I
curious to
mean,
ask people because I feel like it varies person to person.
I mean, CS:GO compared to CS2, everybody knows the difference. Like, it is not the same game. I feel like lately, especially with they changed the AK a little bit. Like
Mhm.
the shots feel a bit snappier. Amazing. Love that. I'm all for it.
Agreed.
Obviously anti-cheat and sub-tick. Anti-cheat is practically non-existent. Sub-tick is complete dog shit. But to me, I'm still happy with the game. I don't think anything will ever be CS:GO, and I'm sure it's the same for you. Nothing will ever be 1.6.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I still love it. It's still CS to me. I don't know what it. I don't know. There's a lot about it that I like removing the skyboxes. The smokes are super cool. The refund option. I don't know where the hell that was in CS:GO, but I love it. I'm a huge fan of it. I'm a huge fan of it, but I miss CS:GO. I'll always miss CS:GO. That's it. That's it for me.
Do you think it'll? And I'm asking this like with no load. I genuinely wonder, but do you feel like it will? Excuse me. Do you feel like it will get there? Do you feel like? Because I'm not necessarily convinced that CS2 won't eventually be better than CS:GO. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that right now, I have apathy towards playing the game, not following it, not the
Yeah.
esport. Like, just to be clear, playing the game. I
Yeah.
just like I don't hate it. I'm not out here on Reddit or on Twitter every day whining about it.
Hmm.
I was, and it's one of the reasons I
I
stopped
think
playing
we all
the
were.
game. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I was at a point where I was like, I am having like less fun playing this game than
Yeah.
if I just wasn't playing it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I would actually be like in a more sane place, like a healthier place if I was just not playing.
Yeah.
I love the new smokes. I love the removal of skyboxes. I love obviously things like the refund option. Yeah. I love how the game looks.
Yeah.
I wish the fucking skins in some cases looked better, but
Yeah.
I still think gloves look like shit, man. But there's a lot about the game I really like,
Yeah.
but there's also a lot I don't like. And I think the things I don't like
kind of outweigh the good part of it.
What is counter? Here's where I'm at. Does any of the other shit matter, bro? The how cool the skins look, the skyboxes, the smokes, all of it, any of it. Does any of it actually, really, truly, when you boil it down, matter?
Yeah.
If you have a Deagle, and the other guy is an M4, and you've played, like you said, your 6,500 hours, right? 6,500 hours of CS, which is certainly enough time to get like a very real grasp of
For
like
sure.
how the
Yeah.
game is supposed to feel,
Not that
right?
I'm a pro, but I definitely
No, no,
am
no, no, no. But
good
yeah,
at
but
the
you
game.
exactly. Like you understand. You hit that banger, like you hit that shot. It doesn't go there. He's not on your screen. He has right. You know what I mean? You get CS2, like the myriad of things to say, and you fucking say to yourself, I like, does any, oh, but your skins look sick, dude.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
but there's no skyboxes, bro. What do you mean? Right? Like you get to this point where you're like,
Yeah.
if that honest handshake exchange, that gunfight did not feel, and it's not copium. Let's assume for science's sake, it's not copium. You're not saying, oh, bro, that was totally a headshot, and you go back to the replay and you're like, bro, you missed this head. No, no, let's say you
Yeah.
actually you hit it, right? Like I got to the point where I was like, I just feel like the DNA is not right yet. There's just a
Yeah.
couple of things, a couple of crucial things
Subtick
that are
being
just
number
not
one, in my
number
opinion.
one. Number one. Like, I don't care how good the game looks or how cool it feels or the interface or anything. If I am just opping, I feel like I'm 10 milliseconds, 15 milliseconds behind every little thing that happens. I feel like
Yeah.
holding angles is suicide. I feel like running and gunning is just absolutely unbelievably overpowered, and
Oh,
you are
bro.
just actively trolling if you're
Yeah.
not doing it. Like it's just right. Like anyway, this is turning into a CS2 bitch fest,
Yeah,
but
no.
but no, I mean, I think it's a good time to ask these questions. It
Yeah.
really like it's a good time to sort of think critically about these things, right?
Hmm.
And because Valve has been doing a great job with the updates, I gotta say
Recently, they've
that
been
ache,
cooking,
yeah,
for
they've
sure.
been cooking, and like that doesn't happen if we are not in a healthy and constructive way
Yeah,
giving them feedback and
for
saying like,
sure.
this is what we like, this is what we don't like, right? Like it's yeah. Anyway.
I'm working on a video right now for my main channel about the future of CS and where it lies, and what's gonna happen. What do people think and stuff? And I kind of go through like the patch note history, and when the beta came out for CS2, then when CS2 came out, and then 2024, and then where we're at now. And you got to assume that this game has to have, when they release it, it's got to have another 10 years of life in it. Like, it makes some ridiculous amounts of fucking dollars.
Yep.
So they have a plan, and there's a video out there somewhere, I forget what it is, but it's a Valve video, and the person in the video, I think it was a girl, I forget her name, but she was saying that they have a mental coach or like a psychologist or something that they work with for the game. That's got to tell you something. I don't know if they still work for the company or whatever, but they did have that. So they have the fucking idea of how are we going to keep this game going. CS2 is a great idea, horrible execution at the beginning, but for me, it's kind of hard to believe, up until a couple weeks ago when we started getting the updates of the AK and, the sticker capsules on time for once, which was crazy.
I know, right?
It's things like that that make me, am I a fool for believing that, yeah, sure, one day we're going to have a great, great game? Or am I an idiot for thinking that's never going to fucking happen? Because look at November happen and we got Train. For 5 months, we didn't get fuck all. We got a
Yep.
couple good updates and then a bunch of just like one-liner fixed geometry gap or what, just some bullshit. But that's my 2 cents on it. I think
No, bro.
maybe one
Yeah.
day, but I'm not holding
But
my
here's the
breath.
thing, like I think this is the question that I think we are all as a community, that we are all constantly straddling, right? And have been for 2 years, which is, are we stupid for believing? Because Valve, like you weren't playing at the very beginning, but like Global Offensive was a dumpster fire. People keep saying this, and it's true. Like they're not rewriting history. Like Global Offensive was a dumpster fire in the beginning. I definitely thought, and a lot of people thought, that it was irredeemable. Like there was no way they would ever fix that game. They get it to a place where it was like at the point that 1.6 was at, like in terms of how tight it was and how and look, like some would argue it's better. I would accept the argument. I have this like personal nostalgia for 1.6. I just sort of preferred in some ways
Yeah,
how the game played, but I accept completely that someone who says that Go was better. I totally accept that argument for sure. Like and in some objective ways it was, but Valve are one of the most sophisticated technology companies in the world. They are
absolutely.
definitely the most sophisticated technology company in gaming, like in the
Oh yeah,
gaming world. And like I always say this, man. If Valve could figure out how to port the skins, which they did, that was the problem that everyone said for years they would never be able to deal with. They would never, there was
yeah,
no getting around that. If they can figure that out, which they did, I think they can figure out subtick and I think they can figure out the anti-cheat. I
absolutely.
I'm a big CS2 hater, but I am also out here every day being like, I'm not saying I hate the game indefinitely. I'm not saying there's no reason to hold out hope. I'm saying I don't want to fucking play the game this week.
Yeah,
I don't want to play the game today. But I'm not saying that a year from now or 2 years from now that we won't be in a platinum age of the game. This is
yeah,
digging deep into the esports history annals here, but Brood War had the platinum age of the game, the golden age of Brood War, right? Was through the 2000s. And then by the late 2000s, like going into like 2008, 2009, 2010, everyone's like, oh, the game's solved. Because remember, you couldn't patch Brood War. There's no way to patch the game. So like there was no like meta shifts. There was no there was no updates.
okay.
So like the game was, people thought the game was literally solved. They were like, the game's solved. Like we've reached the point where like the best strategies have all been discovered. We're just watching the same pros make the same.
What you
And
have
then
is what you
these,
got.
what you have is what you got. That's exactly it, right? And then a couple of young pros, young kids came along, who are some of the greatest gamers in the history of esports. And under everyone's nose, they just revolutionized the game. They had different strategies. They completely with zero and it initiated not only like the second golden age, but a golden age that eclipsed the first golden age. Like a golden age that was not only
Wow.
as good as the golden age, but now they call it the platinum age because it was actually better. And who is to say that CS2 will not have a platinum age 3 to 5 years from now? We're going to be laughing about how skeptical we were and like, oh my God. On the other hand, do they care enough? Can they do it? Do they give a shit? We don't know the answers to any of these questions because Valve are just this like Illuminati entity.
Yeah,
Don't give, right? We
it's
don't
so
know. We have no
mysterious.
idea. So mysterious. They make this stupid fucking game. They dump all this money into it and these resources, and then don't do updates for 7 months. Like I can't make sense of it. Nobody can make sense of it. It just doesn't compute, right?
Yeah,
I think I'm saying all this because I think that you're not silly. I think that like everybody is sort of in this pickle where we
yeah,
just don't know whether to believe or not to believe. Are we idiots for believing? Are we idiots for not believing? Like no
yeah,
one knows. No one knows.
yeah. It's I don't know. Fingers crossed is all I can do. In the meantime, I'm just gonna try to enjoy. Have the weekends, have a couple drinks, play some CS. I'm fucking having a
Yep.
great time. I can only hope it gets better and they actually keep putting this effort that they've been putting out recently and continue that
Yeah,
pattern would be great. But
would be.
yeah. But anyways, we got a little sidetracked there. Um Back to the whole esports, theScore esports, sorry, and your content that you and the team do. To me personally, like I've always loved your content. Like when you're hosting the video, I've always loved that, and I think it stems back from kind of what you were talking about. It's like your passion for the game and like the culture of the game, and like you follow your passion. Oh, I want to cover this topic because I like this topic. Like I can really feel that in the video. Like when I'm watching it, it's not just like, okay, you're gonna go and cover this video topic today, and it's like, oh fuck, I don't want to do that. Like you could tell that you like it. So what is your favorite part of the job? Is it that like being able to figure out like, okay, I'm going to cover this topic today? Is it something else?
Good question. First of all, thank you. Second of all, I think my favorite part of the job I think has actually always been the same thing, which is, and I get to do it now more than ever, which is one of the reasons I'm so happy right now, which is I love to teach people something they didn't know before. I was for a long time. I thought I was going to be a university professor.
Oh, okay.
It's why I was doing a PhD. I was a TA for many years at University of Toronto. Like I taught for a living. I've also like other parts of my life, right? Like I was a ski instructor for 10 years. I've taught things. I used to teach drama, taught skiing, taught sports. And so now I'm in this thing where I didn't become a teacher because I didn't become a professor for really not because I didn't want to, but because of just other reasons, like just the job market and boring stuff that doesn't matter. And then I started doing this esports content, and I started realizing that I could teach people stuff they didn't know. My favorite thing ever that I get, like my favorite feedback ever that I get, is like sometimes I would load into like, a face at Pug, and like one of my teammates would be like, "Bro, I saw your clip, your social thing about like that crazy League of Legends base race, and like I've never played a game of League in my life. I don't even know what the fuck is happening in that game. I don't know anything. But that was so sick. And like I learned, like that was
Boom.
awesome. Like that was I had a League of Legends friend who's like, I've never played CS ever in my life. But I saw your social piece where you talked about when Device used the graffiti spray on the sign on overpass bathrooms so that Flusha couldn't line up the nade. He sprayed the fucking sign in the pistol round so they lose the lineup. And my friend, who's never
Didn't
played
even
a
play.
game of CS in his life, goes like, that was awesome. Like you taught me why that matters, why Device did this, why it affects the lineup, what even is a lineup. He doesn't know what a lineup is. Like to you and me, that's common parlance
Yeah,
to
yeah,
talk about a
yeah.
nade lineup. But as a League of Legends player, he's like, I don't even know what a lineup means. What does that word even mean, right? So the thing that gets me the most excited is teaching people. I just love to teach people stuff from a technical standpoint. I like how does I did a video a week or two ago about spray transfers, and I had to like explain like what is a spray transfer like to people. They're not, we as CS players know what that term of art
Yeah.
means, but like the League players don't know, the Dota players don't know, the fighting game players don't know, and there's this sense of excitement in getting to teach people who love esport but don't necessarily know everything about all esports, right? Or would love all esports if they were just given the chance. If somebody would just come, like, I don't want to say stoop down to their level. That makes it sound like condescending. I just mean like just like get on their level and just say, hey,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes I make jokes about it. Like I did I did a Deagle video, or I'm doing one now, and like I make the joke where I'm like I have to explain how the reset time works on a Deagle, and I'll say like, guys, remember, like League players watch these videos too, right? Like we gotta explain it to the League players, right? Like sometimes I'll make a joke out of it, but
Yeah,
other
yeah.
times it's like this earnest thing, right? Where like and I think anytime I get to basically teach somebody something they didn't know, um and I get to like find a way to explain it in a fun way, in an accessible way, in an engaging way, but also like a substantial way, in a way that
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
devalue like what makes it so cool. Explaining the Astralis era is like an important thing, right? You have to explain to somebody, well, like what did utility look like before Astralis, right? What even is Counter-Strike utility? Why were people not throwing window smokes seriously in 2014? And like how did that change, and when did it start to change, and what did and like finding ways to synthesize information and make it engaging and exciting, to me it's just the thing that keeps me going. It just feels like there's so many things about esports that people who follow these different games don't know.
Yeah.
When I learn about them, I get excited, and that's kind of my long-winded answer. But I think that's what it is for me. I think if I had to pick one thing, it's teaching. I just love to teach people stuff.
I mean, it sounds like it's instilled in you, so this job sounds like it's kind of right up your alley, and it was like the perfect timing, perfect right place, right time, like worked out.
It did. I think a lot of it also was like shaping it in my own image. Like I think a lot of it is like you think about like, I look at my content through that lens a lot of the time, right? I will look at my content. I'll take a super sick Deagle highlight, which is just some dude gunning down 4 guys on Cat in the span of 3 seconds. And anyone else would just look at that and just go, oh, and I can do that because we all do. That's it.
Oh yeah.
But then I think to myself, like, is there a teachable moment? Not to like be memey about it, but like, is there a teachable moment in this? You know what I mean? Is there some viewer out there on their phone at 3 a.m. going through the reels and they see this Deagle play, and aside from just the obvious like sex on the screen, like boom, 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 4 guys die, casters go crazy, is there something about like deeper there that they may not understand?
To break it
Where
down.
break it down. They're like, because remember, if you're a League of Legends player and you don't understand the concept of reset time, that play to you is just, well, he just put the crosshair on 4 different heads. And you're like, no, you don't understand. He syncopated the shots because he's in his brain. He's like calculating the reset time in between it, right? And then he goes, the league player goes, oh, that's fucking crazy. Oh my God, that's so sick. And I'm like, see, that's why everybody on Reddit, on Counter-Strike Reddit's freaking out. And then you bring them in. You
Yeah.
bring them into that community. The spray transfer. My producer for that video, I was showing him these clips, and he was like, not to be a dick, Dimitri. He's like, but why is it exciting that like Stewie like shot and then flicked to this guy? Like he just hit 2 headshots. Like he just sprayed and then just swung and sprayed. And I realized he didn't know that guns in Counter-Strike have fixed spray patterns.
Yeah.
So I was like explaining to him, he starts the spray pattern and then continues the spray pattern on the other player. And as soon as that clicked for him, he was like, oh, that's fucking sick. And I was like, hey, see, like, there you go. And now, not only have you taught somebody something, but you've brought them into our community.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that for a community, and I can say this about Counter-Strike specifically, is a notoriously gatekeepy community. It is notoriously gatekeepy, where if you have not been playing Counter-Strike since 2015, or you have not been playing since 2004, there is this sense where we have to push people out. It's got to be like there's this, and I wish it was not like that, but it has always been like that, and I think it will always will be. I don't know what it is, this like inferiority complex we have or something, but
especially if you come from Valorant.
Exactly. It used to be if you come from any console game, and then in 2018 it was if you come from Fortnite, and now it's if you come from Valorant, and there's always some other fucking, right, like. But like, why is it bad? Why would it ever be bad to have a 16-year-old who plays Fortnite, or a 16-year-old who plays Valorant or League of Legends, who sees a Counter-Strike clip and gets really excited about it, and have someone like a creator, a teacher, get down to their level and say, I'm going to explain to you why this is so cool, because maybe they'll get excited, and then maybe they'll install the game, and then maybe they're going to start playing the game. And I just feel like not enough people in Counter-Strike, and I can say this like with a sort of element of like decisiveness, like I think not enough people in Counter-Strike think that way. I still feel that way. I think they don't.
I would agree.
Yeah, I think there's still this sort of closed-mindedness. You know what it is, man? It's this thing of CS where we've always been Valve's ugly stepchild who never gets any resources. I mean, for years and years, you started playing in 2015. Remember, maybe you remember what it's like. The comparisons to Dota, like the comparisons to like, they have a $45 million world championship and we get 2 fucking majors a year that Gaben won't even show up to, right?
Yeah, like he's never been to one still.
Never been to one still. The inferiority complex, and I agree it's real, just to be clear. I agree the complex is real. I think that there is this element where we as Counter-Strike players have internalized, we don't need anybody. We don't need you, because we have been forced. I will say this, we have been forced to be independent, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Valve won't fix matchmaking, we'll make our own. Faceit comes along, we'll make our own. Oh, they won't fix the anti-cheat, right? We make our own, right? Oh, and little things too, like I want a deathmatch server that is a fucking serviceable deathmatch server. We make our own. Because the one that they have in the client is just dog shit. A retake server. Someone had the idea to be like, what if we make a retake server? Make a retake server. So much of Counter-Strike, you want to look at a skin before you buy it. Onipixel makes a skin server. He's like, let's do that. Let's make something. And again, this is part of what makes Counter-Strike so wonderful, is that we as a community have fucking carried the game for basically absolutely carried it for 20 years. The problem is that sometimes we get a little bit too... It forces us to be a little bit too exclusionary, to be like a little bit too, we don't need anybody. We don't need anything because we've done this by ourselves. We've always had to do this by ourselves. And then the second that somebody else comes along and says like, well, what if I wanted to join? Right? Then there's this instinct, this element of just like, no, you're an outsider. You're not one of us. You're not allowed to be here. And I hate that. I've always hated that. I just think it's like the most anti-productive, right? Like it's just the game has to grow if we want it to survive another, and it is. I mean, CS2 player numbers are great. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely been doing really well for the last couple of years, but I just still feel the attitude from those of us who've been there for a long time it's not conducive, man, to just, player growth.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Absolutely. And for my next question, this is something interesting that I wanted to bring up because I saw this. I was just kind of dumbfounded. I'm not sure how many times that you see like hate towards yourself on Twitter or Reddit or something like that. But I remember there was like a couple months ago or something that I just saw your face pop up on my Twitter and it wasn't your post. And I was like, what the hell? And so I forget what the guy was saying. I went back to try to find the tweet so I could read it out to you. Couldn't find it. But the guy was essentially just shitting on you, and I was just like, what has he ever done wrong to get shit on? Like, what the hell? I don't understand. I don't know if you ever see stuff like this. To me, it's fucking wild that something like that would even happen. But do you ever like see stuff like that, or do you hear about it, or do you just like not even focus on it because you're working for theScore esports? You don't give a fuck what some random Twitter idiot has to say.
Um, I don't really ever see it, to be honest. And I, it's never really bothered me. I don't I think I'm sort of privileged in that way. It's just never really one. I just don't deal with it really at all, like very often. I think I know other people who, for a variety of reasons, deal with it um, a lot more frequently. I don't. It's never really bothered me. I trying to think of like something to say beyond just like I don't really care. I'll say this. I'll say this, which is I think that there is this element where like when you are an internet personality or a public figure of some an internet micro celebrity, as
You're
they
a
say,
target.
yeah, I think that like there's always going to be that 1% who they just they just yap. They just like to yap. And I think that I know someone. She's a creator. She's a TikTok creator. There's no involvement in esports at all. But she's her and her husband are farmers. They're farmers, and she made an account about their farm and about like the animals on their farm and about her kids and her dog and her cat. Really wholesome, like really lovely, wholesome content, teaching people about like how do farms work. And if you like live in the city like I do, it's like you learn stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And she like was talking to me one time and she was like she was like in tears. She was like really really sad because she's like I get people in my comments. Her channel started to like kind of get big, like it started to like blow up a little bit. And she said I have people in my comments who are like, you know, just like saying mean things about like the way I look or like the way my voice sounds or like how annoying I am or whatever. And she was just like, it was one of the reasons it was so heartrending is because she was like, I don't like why. She's like, I'm making content about like cows and about like my cat and about like
Just
my
keep
cat. And she's like, it's
scrolling if you
just
don't like it.
yeah. She's like, why would anyone be so mean to like come in and just say something so? And I tried to explain to her like, and it's not consolation, like it's a hard thing to say, but I just tried to explain to her like, it kind of is just the reality of being on someone's phone. Like
Yeah.
on being on someone, it's just. And I said, I'm so sorry. Obviously, I'm very sorry this happened to you. It's disgusting. It's awful. I thankfully like I don't deal with anything like that. But like I just I try to explain to her like it is sort of par for the course. And I hate that I'm saying this. Like don't get me wrong, but I was like it's sort of like being mad at the weather. It's sort of like being mad at like the fact that it's so hot or it's raining.
It just
It's
comes
just
with the
this like
territory.
it comes with the territory. And I do feel that like I'm lucky in a sense or privileged, like I said, that there's never one. I rarely ever deal with it. And when I do, it's never bothered me. Like even when I'm starting out and I was not nearly as as seasoned and experienced as I am now, it just never really bothered me. I sort of just always recognized it for what it was, which is just people just they just yap. They just like
Yeah.
to whatever for whatever reason. I will say this, which I try to think of a way to sort of like make it like productive, like to sort of like really try to what I mean, like because again I think I don't care or what I mean. It's just not a very interesting answer for you. I'll say this, which I think is helpful for everybody, which is um I there's a band I really like, and they are a progressive metal band, and in the metal community is like famously sort of very close-minded. And he was doing an interview sort of semi recently, and he was saying how we get flack a lot for the music we make, and people say it's not metal and blah blah, blah whatever. But he said it stuck out to me pretty really well. If he said you don't have to like my band. Like if you don't like my band, that's like totally cool. But like make your own. Show me, like show me the community like what it's supposed to look like. Like that's the whole idea is to grow. And I would say this, like don't for not just for your sake. I don't mean you. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I know what
the
you mean.
hypothetical Twitter, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. Redditor, right? Like YouTube comment or whatever. Don't like for your sake, right? Don't just write your snarky comment and then press enter and chuckle to yourself and then rage queue another pug at 2:37 a.m. and hate
Yeah.
yourself even more. Don't do that. Like
Yeah.
why? It's not that it's the worst thing you can do. It's not that the snarky comments are like particularly upsetting or whatever. It's that
This is a
it's the most
depressing way to live.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
like I said, I'm not here to judge other people. What I will say is it's unproductive. It's not, it's about the most unproductive thing you can do. If you have an idea as to what it should look like, right? Start a channel, dog. Do what you did. Like say, I want to put myself out there. I want to make a channel. I want to do this thing. I want to take a swing at it. I want to go. And like, that's what it's all about,
that's
dude.
it.
Like, it's all about, you have to say, I want to start something. I want to, like, if I think I know better what it should sound like, what it should look like, whatever, then I should put myself out there and say, I want to do it. And I'm saying that not just for the hypothetical Redditor's sake. I'm saying that for the sake of the community. We need more casters. We need more creators. We need more players. We don't need more Redditors. It's the
No.
last fucking thing we need.
Yeah.
So just don't like you know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna do it, just put yourself out there. Use it, like, fuel it into something productive, because I want to see what you come up with. I want to
Yeah.
see, we the community want to see what you come up with. Like, right? Like, that's the way it's supposed to work. It's the way it's supposed to function.
Yeah, 100%. And it's so ironic too, because that's how, theoretically, that's how people should be, and that's how they should act. Like, think of, I don't know, any type of entrepreneur for the most part. Like, they had an idea, maybe someone else wasn't doing it, and they did it. And that's why entrepreneurs get big, because they're, creators. They create something that is worth going to this person rather than this person for business or whatever. And for CS, it should be the same way, but rather than sending the devs an email, which they respond to, people
Yes,
just
they
go
do.
on Twitter, or they just go on Reddit. This game is fucking dog shit. The devs do nothing. We didn't get bordered stickers for how long? We get bordered stickers back seconds after, because I have the post notifications on my phone for Twitter. Seconds after they made the official announcement, the fucking looks like treasure maps are fucking dog shit. If you don't like them, sure, that's fine. Like, can you at least say, like, not the nicest design, but thanks for giving us border stick? Like, fucking hell, dude. Like, these people are probably so miserable giving us what we want, and then you just shit on them. Like, I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either. I mean, I've come to understand that it's not understandable, if that makes sense. Like,
That's
I have
it.
come
That's
to
it.
understand that it is just, it's just like, that really is just it. I think I was very early in understanding it, and so, like I said, it never really affected me.
That's good, because that could make or break you, really.
It can, and I think the level to which you deal with it also can. Like, I think it's like, right, like, being a woman in esports is
Oh, it's got to be so
horrifying.
difficult. It's got to be so
It's
hard.
very, 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 very bad. And I always like, however bad you think it is, it's 1,000 times worse than whatever you think it is. It's so abhorrent, right? And I think that, like, on the one hand, I'm just privileged. Like, I'm just privileged that, like, I really, really don't ever deal with this stuff. I have, like, just always have positive interactions with the
That's good.
community, whether I'm like, I was stopped on the street the other day, in front of a hospital, and a nice guy was coming out. He works in the hospital, and he wanted to take a photo with me on the
Wow.
street. I was walking up from work, and I was like, caught, like, right. I was in a record store a couple weeks ago, and a kid asked to take a photo with me in the record store,
Wow,
and,
that's
like,
so cool.
I it's great. And, like, even like in Face It Pugs, in retake servers, like, everybody's really, like, I don't know, I just never deal with it. Like, so it's just one of those things where I'm sort of, in some sense, like, a bad gauge. But I definitely will say, like, I don't think it matters. Like, even though I don't find I deal with it a lot, of course, like, we all deal with it. Like, it's just like, you literally go on Reddit right now, and you'll find someone who, he could be the HLTV #1, and you'll find a thread, 100%. You will find a thread from some 2200 elo face at level 10 who is earnestly explaining to you why ROPS is overrated. 100%. With full sincerity, he is telling you why ROPS is actually not as good as you think he is, right? That's just the internet.
And then it's just going to
That's
be a
just the
chain of
internet.
comments. You fucking don't know what you're talking about. And then it's just
Yeah.
back and forth. And then it's just
It's
like
just
a cesspool of crap.
yeah. That's just it, man. And, like, I you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. To me, it just, I guess I've said, yeah, it just, I don't know. It's never really bothered me, but
Yeah.
the takeaway is not that. The takeaway is, for everybody to be productive. Be productive.
Hmm.
Don't like I said, just start your own thing, man. That's what we
Put
want to see.
positive
That's
reinforcement.
yeah. It's that's how you grow the community. That's how you grow your own image. That's how you grow us as Counter-Strike. Like we need more people making good content, good casting, good playing, good all of it, just all of it to keep the ecosystem. Go design a skin. Like go right. You think the skins don't look good in the game? Like go make one. Go
Yeah.
fucking make one and upload it to the workshop. Like that's the thing, right? It's like that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
it. Perfectly said.
Thanks, buddy.
So, what's next for you in your career? Do you see yourself staying with the esports for many years to come? Because at this point, it'd be weird if you weren't there. Like, do you have any other projects that you're working on with them, or like, surely you're not leaving. First and foremost.
No plans to leave. I love making content with theScore. I always have. I don't want to make content anywhere else. I will say that I have other like there's other stuff I'm interested in, but it has like nothing to do with esports or with like I'm making the stuff that I get to make now is like the stuff that I'm probably the most excited about ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is great. It's really cool. I feel really it's fun and it's engaging and it's like it's inventive and I get to really sort of like, you know, just teach people about the stuff I want to teach about, whether it be in short form, whether it be in long form, right? We just started a podcast. It's great and like it's really fun. I like I said, in terms of esports, not really. I'm firing on all cylinders.
Love it.
I'm trying to think like what's like I am uh I'm like for instance, like I'm a very avid record collector.
Oh yeah.
Like I collect rare vinyl. I have since I was a teenager and I have been like making stuff for that. Like I've been like I sort of repurposed my Instagram account to like start talking about rare records
Okay.
and like early 70s obscure progressive rock and just
Nice.
weird shit and yeah it's great, it's
Little
fun as
niche
hell.
stuff.
Very
Okay.
niche, but people seem to appreciate it and there are also people who are not in esports, like people who are coming from, you know, like
Yeah, yeah.
that's cool, that's really cool. I like to do stuff like that. I like to talk about records a lot. It's like a weird thing. It's a me thing, but other than that, I no man. I'm
Here to
probably
stay.
happier now than I've ever been.
That's
I'm
awesome.
really enjoying what I'm doing, and I have no plans to pivot within esports certainly. So
Love it.
yeah,
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time, man. That was the last question I got for you. I appreciate you sitting down with me, and this was definitely worth the wait. This was awesome, awesome conversation. Um, I like to leave the end of the show to give the spotlight over to the guests, and if there's something that you're working on that you want to, throw out at the audience that will end up watching this, or anything you want to talk about before we sign out, floor's yours.
um,
If anything.
honestly, I would no. I would say if you're really into or want to get into late 60s early 70s progressive rock psych and krautrock, hit up my Instagram. Other than
Links are in the
that,
description.
other than that, honestly I would say that people should go and watch your other episodes because I think
My
they're
man.
great. I
Thank
think
you.
they're fantastic and I think that that's what that's the focus should be on people who are making content that are excited about it and are bringing something new to the scene and different. And I've been watching your show since the beginning, but since coming back on, I was like going back and backfilling some episodes, like some stuff that I
I
hadn't had a
appreciate
chance to
that.
watch yet.
Appreciate that.
It's great, and I think that people should go and watch your other episodes before they do anything else.
Love it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys, and that wraps it up. Dimitri 07. Absolute GOAT, bro. Thank you so much, Dimitri, for joining for today's episode. Thank you guys all for watching. We are coming back next Friday with another episode. No plans on taking another break anytime soon. We got a lot of wheels moving right now, a lot of cool things happening, a lot of cool guests coming up. So, yeah, get ready to look forward to that, and we will catch you guys next Friday. Till next time, everybody. Peace.